Good afternoon, fellow traders. It's Black Coffee Trader coming to you on a Friday the 17th of January. And we once again had a green day, a very nice day, best day of the year so far. Up $2,200 across the 13 funded Apex accounts, probably an average of about 170 almost. Some of these were a little bit less than others. Only took one trade today. That was the 940 trade. I'll try to talk through that a little bit and explain that trade. But yeah, today, very much a sideways choppy day. We basically traded from the, this was actually, no, this was the market open, or right before the market open, actually. But from the 682s down to about the 481, so about a 200-point range. That's pretty much where we were at today, and very much a choppy, very choppy day. A lot doesn't look like much, but there's quite a few, 30-point candles in here, 20, 30-point moves, and it's just very difficult to get into something there. And I really just took that one trade, and I really didn't feel compelled to try to get anything more out of the market just because of just seemed to be very erratic. Very much a bit of a different market than we've seen the last couple of days, just kind of sideways and flat, and a lot of these big moves. But anyway, and before we dive into that, let's just take a look at the big picture. You notice, looking at the market itself, this was the trend line that we've kind of been on, and we broke that today. And we also broke above this previous all-time high, which was right here around the 623s. So we've fallen below that now, but we did break out above that. So I'm very, very curious to see how this thing does Monday. Monday obviously is a half day, but very curious to see if this is a sign that the bulls are stepping in and we're going to start pushing this thing back up, or if this is just a mere little blip and we continue to fall back down. The same kind of thing happened on ES. Kind of see the same deal here. We were well above the previous all-time highs there, but definitely are seeing that trend break there as well. It's probably not quite as clean on ES as it is on NQ as far as the trend line trend break, but we are breaking it nonetheless. So I think that's the big thing to see is, does this continue, or is this just kind of a false little blip up and then we start to fall back apart? So I did miss out on gold. This is the 15-minute chart on gold. I was looking yesterday, I played this rejection and made a little bit of money on some evals on that. And today, I actually made a little money right here on an eval. And then I got stopped out of another short trade here. And then I just walked away from it. I didn't even look at it until here just a few minutes ago. And I saw that we have this big move back down. So I'm a little bit sad. That could have, I could have probably passed some evals on that move down. So on an eval account, for example, if I go 4 contracts on minis or micros, 4 contracts, if you get that fill, you're at 240. Now I gotta do this again. 240. About a $400 $500 trade. So you take a couple of those or move it to minis, and you definitely have some money in a trade. So definitely missed an opportunity there. If you look, the reason I've been watching this is right here on the if you go to the 4-hour time frame, we had this area of interest here, this key level, and we've rejected it back here on in early December, and then we rejected it again about earlier this week, and then we rejected it again today. So kind of interesting to see, is this is probably going to fall apart. I just didn't really feel like shorting it here in the afternoon session. It's not going to make enough of a move to make it worthwhile, but that'll be something I'll look at next week. If this is still bouncing here and looking for rejection play down to the 2600s, I might try that, because there's definitely some money even on micros that's in that gold trade should it develop. So anyway, we'll keep that in mind. Now let's dive into the 940 trade and what happened today. So the 940 trade is basically, what I do is I'm looking for the last candle close right at the open, which is this candle right here, which is actually the 930 candle. That candle closes at 930, and that candle, if it is red like it was today, then the trade setup I'm looking for is a short. And then I am looking for, in this case, let's go horizontal line. I'm looking for either for the fifth candle or the 938 close. That's this candle right here. I'm looking for the 938 close to be red. In this case, because this candle was red, I'm looking for the 938 candle close to be red. And then I take the short, which is exactly what I did. Or if this would have been a green candle, but would have been below the low of this one, that would also have triggered a short. That's the triggers for that specific trade. If this would have been green, it would have been the entire opposite. If this was been a green candle, I would have been looking for the 938 close, or the fourth candle of the day, right prior to the 940, to be green as well, and or be above, close above this high. So today that triggered, and I got out of there with basically, there's, because of the volatility in that opening few minutes, the fills slipped a little bit, and so the accounts here that are at 155, what happened there is basically the way I have this set up is once we get to 40 points, not ticks, but points, 40 points in profit, my stop moves to 20 points, which is the first profit target. The first profit target is 20 points, which is $80, taking off 2 contracts. And then once we hit 40 points, this triggers. I have changed that now. I've actually changed it to where once we hit 20 points, we just go to break even. I could have got out with a little bit more, and then the second profit target, I did have it at 60 points. I pulled that back to 40. Basically, I was doing some more just evaluation on the back test, and I think I can probably have even a higher win rate and maybe have a little bit more money in my trades if I do that. So, but in any case, got out of there with the first profit target at 20 points, and then the ones that have more than 155 are basically accounts that did not get closed or stopped out when that stop loss moved to 20 points on the pullback. But I just manually closed those trades. I probably could have let them go and maybe gotten out with maybe about 40 points if I would have just kind of let it go. But I was okay with that. As a nice green trade up, like I said, a pretty nice little trade for that. Especially with the red streak I've been on. It's just good to see a couple green days in a row. So I'll keep watching this. This is in the back testing I've had. This trade actually has about a 64%. Through today, it has a 64% win rate, which is really high. That is a really high win rate. Now, granted, it does not trigger every day. Some weeks it triggers like once or twice. Some weeks it triggers 4 or 5 times. It really, really varies. And there's going to be, stretches of days where it triggers and it's just simply a loss. My loss is 20 points. So if I lose on 4 micros, I'm out for 160 for the loss, which is very, very acceptable. So anyway, that's how I've got it set up, and I'll keep playing that mechanical trade and see if we can make some money with it. I do like it. I like the idea of having a mechanical trade where you don't have to really put much thought into the process and am I taking it one way or the other. Even this morning, I was a little bit nervous because we were right at this key level that I had marked out. We came right down to this key level, had this green candle, and I thought, I'm afraid this thing's going to push back out of here. But, true to the back testing, it did work out. And today there was definitely some money in that trade. So, we did eventually, push back out of here. But nevertheless, there was some money there, and that's a good thing. So anyway, that is that. Let's take a look at, actually, I want to show you this as well. So this is the week. This was today. So yesterday and today were nice green days. And then you can see that on the accounts that we still have remaining, we basically ended up with a loss of around 350 to 400 per account. It varies a little bit, but that's kind of where that ended. In the brand new account that we've traded for 2 days now, we've had 2 nice wins on. So we're up almost 300 in 2 days on that account, which is nice. But even though we had some big red days early in the week where we were down a couple hundred, each specific day, we went from a loss of 2 something per account to around 400 per account to around 600-700 per account. And then we started to pull back with a couple of winning days. Didn't make up all the loss, but did end up, improving our position, which is good. So now let's move to trades. I didn't show this yesterday because I think I was still in a live trade when I was doing my recap, but ended yesterday up almost 1,400. And then today, one trade, it says 13 because I've got 13 accounts, but up 2,200. So we finished the week on a pretty positive note, up with $3,500 over 2 days here. We still ended up the week, down. You can't see that. I'm sorry. Ended the week down almost $5,000, but we definitely broke out of this nasty red streak that I was on. So I'm really hoping that the next couple of weeks we can at least regain and get back at least to around break even. If I can get it to around break even, I'd be pretty happy. Maybe we'll be better and get that up even more. So anyway, that's the start for the year. And let's look at today, and let's look at this month. So down 10, win rate 31%, not that good at all. The average win to loss is not quite as good as I would want it, but last year I was, especially early on in the year in the midsummer, I was never at 1. It was always at 0.6, 0.5, sometimes even worse. And I really have wanted to get this up above 1, because that just means that if I can get this to 1.5 to 2, or better, it means that you can have a lower winning percentage and you're still going to have winning days. We all know that you don't lose or you don't win all the time, and no one has an 80% win rate. So 50 to 60% is usually considered pretty good. And then if you have an average win to loss that's in the positive here, we'll call a positive above 1, the chances of having a winning net P&L is pretty good. And so that's something that I'm trying to focus on. And you can kind of see we started off green, we kind of had the red streak, and now we're pushing back out of it. So hopefully we can push back and get this back up into break even and profits maybe in the month of January. So that is that. I think I'll leave you with that for today, and have a great weekend. Once again, thank you for hanging out. Thanks for using code BCT. If you're new, feel free to like and subscribe. I try to do these updates every single day that I trade, and take you along on my trading journey. So hope you had a great day today. Take some time off over the weekend, and get back Monday nice and fresh, ready to go. And let's put together a green week next week. So best of luck to you all. Have a great weekend, and until next time, so long.